Hey, Gus, how does a game like last night's with the Rams and the Bengals affect the overall schemes that you use to try to stop the Rams as opposed to like institutional knowledge of their offense and work you've done previous?
Well, I think every game is helpful, right? They got different personnel than maybe they've had in the years past and how they utilize them. So even though that game was played late last night, that's one of the first things we watched this morning, just to get a feel for, you preliminary kind of put some calls together, kind of how you're going to do it. And then it gives you a chance to kind of go through it one more time. So all information is good information.
James?
Gus, how did you see Juju navigate his first game? Obviously, he had the huge forced fumble, but just overall, just seeing his attention level, recognition, the mistakes, the bounce backs, things like that.
Yeah, I think one thing that we learned about Juju, it was never about his focus or here's a young corner, boy, we got to get his mentality right. That part was all there. He's got a strong focus, a good mentality, a great competitive spirit about him. It was just getting him caught up to where he has a chance to be successful. So I think that going into a game, you never know how guys are going to react, but he had that poise, that same person that we saw in practice. He came out there and played. And really, the first series, we were a little bit struggling a little bit. We were trying some different things, and I thought we settled down and played pretty well after that. But I think the big momentum change in the game was Juju's caused fumble. I think that allowed us to come to the sideline, talk through some things, and it just seemed like, okay, let's go back to work. So that was a huge, huge play in the game, I think, as far as momentum as well.
Joel?
Gus, Buck was saying the other day that, him and Grover were on the sideline like, hey, what are we going to do today? Because the Ravens just kind of, tried to do whatever they could to stay away from them in the game plan. Obviously,
I didn't, you cut off. I didn't hear all that. You said Buck and Grover on the sideline. They were like, what?
They were saying like, man, the Ravens are trying to stay away from us. What are we going to do? But you had other guys step up. Like they can't just do that and it works anymore. Does that mean like eventually they're going to have to come back to dealing with those two?
Well, I think, based on the game and how things are going and, are they running the ball? Are they passing the ball? They attacked us a little bit differently than we thought. We might have thought we'd saw different styles of runs and more of them. But, we had the quarterback, obviously him scrambling and the quarterback draws and things like that. So, but, they get their opportunities to affect the game. They still, when in that last quarter, when the ball was at the logo a couple times and we got into a big front, you saw Grove really step up. There he was again. They tried to run the ball in those, that last minute or so, and he made plays for us. So, but you're right. I think that, Samson stepped up, Dio stepped up, Taven had a caused fumble. So, I think that whole group, they have that mentality, boy, they want to impact the game, and they get a little frustrated when maybe plays aren't directed right at them.
Raven?
And kind of speaking to Samson, yesterday, Coach Steichen mentioned that he was named the defensive player of the game. Just what have you seen from him, not just this past Sunday, but just since he got here and how he brings to the defense?
Well, in that position, we needed a speed type rusher. And, that Leo spot that you've heard us maybe talk about, that's what he fulfills. And some teams will design runs to attack him. And I think for us, Samson, what he's done a great job is not only just his pass rush and his speed there, but his ability to play the run. He can set the edge, take on, a cut block, a slice block, pullers. He has been really good there as far as setting the edge for us with that. I think that's what makes him unique, probably, a little better than we anticipated.
And in a way, do you think he's kind of fell under the radar because, like mentioned, Grove and Buck are so talented, and Zaire and then Shaq behind him? Do you feel like he gets a bit overlooked, not just, with local media, but sometimes even nationally as well?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, you'd have to ask Samson how important that is to him. The Samson I know, he just loves to play the game and go out there and contribute anyway. And, You know, that's just who he is. He's unbelievable man to coach and be around because of his focus, and he brings a great deal of leadership to our group. And he's one of those calming forces. You know, I think he fits in very well with a Buck and a Grove mentality.
Two more, Joel.
Another big play from EJ Speed. You guys talked about getting him, making sure he's involved. Just what are you seeing from him through the first 3 games?
Well, he makes plays for us. You know, when he's on the field, something's going to happen, you know, and 95% of the time it's something really good. Even the critical play on 4th down, you know, he adjusted. He had great instincts, great awareness where Flowers was, you know, adjusted and played it accordingly. So he's a guy is making quite a few plays for us and big plays. You know, he did that last year too. And I think that's why you saw this year some of the things we're doing, trying to find creative ways of getting him on the field even more.
Last one, James.
Gus, how would you just gauge the overall containment of Lamar Jackson? I know they had the early play by Julian Blackman where he just missed because the guy's that good, but then obviously late, Quiddy got home and that kind of forced overtime.
Yeah, I think he's a talent, you know, and that was one of our keys to victory was, you know, I don't know if you can ever I don't believe you can ever stop him from being effective like he is on the run, but you got to contain him. There was a couple of plays where we didn't get the right call where we wanted as far as a line game, and that was on me. So the communication part, but you know, if we'd have lost, we didn't do a good enough job on him, you know, and we won and we did just well enough. But, you know, he's a good player and he has something to deal with now. And his ability to run. And like I said, I think they opened up the pass game more for him. So, yeah, he's, you know, always something to deal with.